The summer break is over, Formula One is back, so here's a quick little video of a few thoughts I have on where I think things might go for here. First, let's speak about Sergio Perez, because despite the bad run of form he's had, I think we could see him finish another race on the podium. Yes, given his lackluster run of form at Imola, you'd be quick to jump to nah, there's no way that he could, and yeah, fair cop. But there's a couple of tracks coming up that he has normally gone quite well at. Namely, I'm looking at the Baku-Singapore doubleheader that's coming up after this current doubleheader. Those are two circuits where he has 1 out of 4. He can perform on those street circuits, and Baku especially. He's, I believe, the most successful driver at the Baku circuit. No, I can't lie, I was rather surprised that Red Bull decided to keep him for the rest of the season for whatever reason, but they made the choice they made, so we all had to live with it. Honestly, I still don't see him keeping the seat for 2025 even though he's contracted, but anyway, they made the choices they made, and that choice is that they've given him way more chances than Gasly or Albon ever got. I'm not expecting anything massive for the Mexican through the rest of the season. I'm not expecting him to return to the form he had at the start of the season, but I do think we will see him get another podium in either Baku or Singapore. I think it's more likely to be Baku, but just to mention though, if he cannot perform in either of them circuits, he really is in trouble. Next, McLaren, aka the team who the last while have been channeling their inner Ferrari from 2022, minus the reliability issues, aka the team who I think will win their first Constructors' Championship in 1998. When it comes to the top 4 teams really, only 2 of them are somewhat mistily put together at the moment, and that is Mercedes and McLaren, the latter of which are the ones that's closest to Red Bull in the championship. And honestly, unless Perez really kicks on and gets back to his start of the season form, which I've already said I dunna see coming, McLaren will catch and pass them. This is not 2023, Red Bull do not have the RB19. They cannot win the Constructors with just Max, and really they have kinda handed it to McLaren by re-signing Checo, keeping Checo, for the remainder of the season. McLaren have a strong car and a strong driver lineup, and that is gonna bode them really, really well and try to score the big points for the Constructors' Championship. And staying on McLaren, as I move on to my next point, while I think they will take the Constructors title, I cannot help but feel like they're going to have a good problem on their hands, kind of leaning into what I was just saying about how they had 2 strong drivers, and that problem is Oscar Piastri closing in on Lando Norris. The Aussie ain't all that far off of Norris in the championship, and with the form he was in afore the summer break being arguably the stronger of the 2 McLaren drivers in Hungary and Belgium, with a healing broken rib might I mention, if Oscar can continue that form, he will catch up to Norris. And from there, things could get a little bit interesting and maybe a little bit messy at McLaren. They honestly could find themselves in that position where they have their drivers very, very close in the Drivers' Championship, while they're also trying to score big points, not have any big issues between their drivers so they can score big points for the Constructors' Championship, in its case of, well, how do they manage that? They're a team that has historically not been scared to use team orders with their drivers, so there's a chance they could prevent any messiness by doing that, but well, okay, they did that in Hungary and it was still a mess. Like, honestly, if they wanted Lando to let Oscar back pass, they should have just taken the Lotus approach. When they wanted Kimi to let Grosjean pass, so said Finn's race engineer went on the blower just shouting, "Kimi, get out the fucking way. Get directly to the point, none of this beating around the bullshit, 1 for 10, 1 for 2, shite." But anyway, ranting about the Hungarian Grand Prix a month after it happened aside, my point is, I think Oscar Piastri will finish ahead of Lando Norris in the final standings. Because Oscar is having a really, really good second year in Formula 1. Yeah, there's still things that, he could work on, but he'll get better with time. He is very strong though, for being in his 2nd season. And come the end of the season, I think he's going to be the McLaren driver on top. But now further back on the grid, Sauber. They've been rubbish, quite frankly, and I dunna think that's going to change. They've yet to score a point this season, and I dunna think they will score a point. Now, this is one where I would be happy to be proven wrong on, because it sucks to say I dunna think a team will score points, but their car just ain't it, and when the car just isn't there, the drivers, well, they can only do so much with what they've got, and what they've got hasn't proved to be something with which they can score points. There is a couple of times where they could have, but they didn't have, or something else went wrong, like pit stop. earlier in the season. We could, by all means, see a mad race that allows Sauber to get a P10 or something like that, but at the same time, Sauber could also find themselves mixed up in the madness of that mad race if we get one. Look, I just don't want to see them scoring points, and I won't lie, this is the one I'm most expecting to age terribly. And finally, we had 7 different winners in the first 14 races. What about the last 10? Well, I'm gonna throw it out there that I think we will see all top 4 teams winning more races across these final 10 rounds. Even if it's just one race the team wins, I think we will see all top 4 teams on the top step. As for what the drivers are, Hawkins. Oh, and yes, I still think Max was no going to have too much trouble in the Drivers' Championship, unless he DNFs twice and Norris, say, wins both of those same races. Verstappen will be fine and will be a 4-time world champion at the end of the season. What do you think is going to happen in the second half of this season? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.